Hello there. Um, I know I opened two splits yesterday, Ouds splits. One of them is one I've done before, and one is a new one. And I realized that these two bottles aren't terribly popular in the community. They don't really get a whole lot of play on YouTube. Certainly not the Mona di Orio Oud. That one really, I'm not sure there's even a video on it. I haven't looked, but I've never seen one. And the MFK Oud also is really not the most popular. So, with them also being extremely expensive, as you undoubtedly saw by those exorbitant split prices I had to post. Those are at cost, by the way. And the Mona includes the 15% discount at Min. Not profiting off any of those. It does just so happen they come out to being the exact same price. They are 4 cents a milliliter different from one another. So I just said, screw it, make them the same price. Because they're so expensive, I figured I should really help you out to see if you really want to get in on a split. I do own an Oud bottle. I do not own a Mona bottle, but I do have a little sample that I got from Min that I've worn a few times, so I can provide a little bit of insight, see if it's worth spending your hard-earned cash, a lot of it, on a small amount of juice. So, let me first get into this guy, Francis Kurjan's Oud. As you can see, it's a beautiful presentation, by the way. An excellent bottle. This one, in the reviews that I've read, the discussions that I've read, both on Facebook, a little bit on Base Notes, some people like to say that there's no Oud in here, and I will say the first time I tried this, I thought the same thing. I thought there was no Oud in here. Thought it smelled like a dentist's office. That was my first impression of it. And I wrote it off completely, said, no, this is garbage, I don't want anything to do with this. $300 for this, you kidding me? No way. I kept, after I did a couple of other splits of MFK bottles, I kept sampling it at the store. Just, it piqued my interest, and it just kind of kept going and going and going. And it finally came around on it, and I figured out what this stuff is all about. There is Oud in here. Indeed, there is Oud. And it's really right there in front of your face. This is a very different take on Oud. Both of these are, but this one especially, it's not... he doesn't present the Oud in a very raw form, meaning there are things surrounding it, but he presents it in a very delicate but unique way. There's no flowers in here. This is not rose Oud, none of the other combinations that have flooded the market. You can find any one of 1,000 rose Oud combinations out there. And I'm really not exaggerating by saying 1,000. This is nowhere near that. I know in my things I want to see for the new year, I wrote about how they should stop making Oud fragrances. And come to think of it, he's got 3 more of these coming out that are even more expensive. But this is really an exception to the rule, because this is new. This is not something that's been seen. Somebody asked me a question about this, asked me to describe this, and they said that they had spoken with a friend of theirs, and the description their friend gave them was that it kind of smelled like a forest. Like you were stepping into a forest. And I thought about it, and yeah, it kind of does. It's not overly woody. It is. This is definitely a woody Oud. This is not medicinal. in any way. It's not that kind of sharp oud. None of that. It does kind of feel a little bit like you're stepping into a forest, but a bit of a clean forest. It's not dirty. There's not a lot of, when I get to this one's dirty. This one's not. I know Mark, I think he got a bottle of this, or got a sample of this, and he said that he smelled something fresh at the top. I don't really get anything fresh out of it, per se. Certainly nothing aquatic, nothing fruity, none of that. Maybe some fresh herbal notes, but they're light. This is a very classy take on oud. Very wearable. My only complaint is that sometimes the projection can be a little bit less than I'd like, especially for as much money as we're paying for this. Going Marco Rubio here, hold on. Pardon me, I'm getting over a cold. I forgot my train of thought. Anyways, no fresh, no fruity, none of that. I've described MFK fragrances as being like fine china. It feels like you're wearing something very delicate, very well put together, something that you don't want to break. Not that you can break a fragrance, and this absolutely fits that mold. More so than just about anything else he's made. This is extraordinarily well blended. I wish it lasted a little bit longer. That's my only real gripe about it, is that it doesn't last a long time. You certainly get a good amount of longevity out of it. This will get you 8 hours, no problem. And it's very versatile. It's, for an oud fragrance, it's not offensive. Well, I know a lot of people like to reference Royal Oud from Creed or Oud Wood from Tom Ford as very inoffensive ouds, which is right. Problem is that neither one of those have a whole lot of oud in them. They're really not focused on the oud note. This one is. There is definitely oud here. Don't fall for those who say that there isn't. And it's certainly wearable in an office with a light application. It'll get you through the full day, no problem. If you have a lot of other ouds in your collection, if you have a lot of those rose ouds, a lot of the floral ouds, a lot of the the royal ouds, the oud woods, this is not going to be redundant by any means. Neither one of these two are. Not at all going to be redundant. No. Which is one of the reasons why I kept coming back to it, and I keep coming back to it. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. It's almost intoxicating. Both of these really are. But a good, very, very solid fragrance. If I had to rank the MFKs, this would probably be number 2 behind Absolute Bois Le Soir, right ahead of Lumiere Noir. Very good scent, very good. So if you have any further questions about that, let me know. If I can be of any help in helping you decide if you'd like to get some of the juice. That is that. Now this guy, Mona's Oud. 100 milliliter bottle of this costs $525. That's a lot of freaking money. Alright? And when I first got a sample of this, I was kind of skeptical, because I thought, alright, I've heard good things about it. And but $525, seriously? You've really got to knock it way out of the park for me to even consider that being worthwhile. Even with that 15% off code, it brings it down to 400 something. You've really gotta be good. At first when I smelled it, I didn't like it. Again, again, these two similar. When I first smelled it, I didn't like it. I thought this smelled like dog shit a little bit. But then again, I didn't spray it on my arm. I just smelled it straight out of the vial. And again, like the other one, I kept coming back to it. I kept coming back, smelling it again and again and again. Of course, a little bit how much juice I have in there, like barely any. And this was, maybe only filled to about right there, so I used this very sparingly. And it got to a point where I found myself just not being able to stop. And always, I would sit at work and think, I really want to smell that again. I want to go home and get my nose on that and figure it out a little more. And as I wore it a few times, it really started to hit me. This is a very raw, very dirty oud. Again, same thing. No flowers here, none of the other stuff that you see in all these other ouds that are out there right now that are flooding the market. This is not going to be a redundant addition to your collection if you decide to get this by any means. Another very classy one, probably not as much so as this guy, but still something. I'm not sure you could wear this to work. If you did, I'd say go very light, because this is an eau de parfum intense. So all those EDT intenses that are out there, this is an EDP intense. I don't know if that qualifies it as a perfume extract, pure parfum, but it's strong. You don't need a lot. These little min sprayers, if you've never seen them, I'm not going to spray it because I don't want to waste it. They don't really give you a very good spray. So one or two of them is maybe equal to, two of these are equal to about one of these, maybe. And, 2 sprays from this guy, no problem. That'll last a long time. Now, when this goes on, you get a very woody, little bit of amberish, raw smell to it. Think of it like this. The amber in Tom Ford's Amber Absolute is a very raw amber. That's sort of the same thing here. They don't smell like, this does not smell like Amber Absolute at all. But if you take that same principle of that raw amber in Amber Absolute and apply it to oud here, that's really what you get. As it dries down, I believe there's actually 2 different kinds of ouds in here. I don't have, no. I know there's both of these use oud from Laos, the country of Laos. I believe there's a second one. I want to say Cambodian oud in here. I feel that coming out. I feel like a different kind of oud, kind of trying to squeak through there. It creates, this is going to sound kind of odd, it creates almost like a cinnamon texture to me, or cinnamon scent. The cinnamon is not a note in here. There's certainly not a gourmand by any means. There's not a cinnamon note, but as it dries down and it develops, I do get, it does kind of get a bit of a cinnamon feel to it. Very light, again, very raw cinnamon, not a sugary, like if you take raw cinnamon powder, a lot of people like to put that on things, use it as a topping, as a spice, that kind of thing. This is certainly not sweet, don't get me wrong here. This is not a sweet fragrance by any means, no way. But it's alluring, it really is. It's one of those, there's just something about it that just draws you back. It's not as spicy as this guy. It's definitely more woody, more oriental. It's good. So, is it worth your money? Either one of these. If you are an oud fan, you've never tried them, you owe it to yourself to at least try it. Either through my split or finding a sample somewhere else. Just do it. I'm not trying to pump my own splits here. I'm not even taking anything out of MFK split. At least try it, however you can. I think anybody who has tried either one of these will tell you that for Oud fans, they're worth giving a sniff. You may not like it. It may not be for you. These certainly are not crowd pleasers by any means. It's hard to find a crowd-pleasing Oud. This one might be a little bit more off-putting than the Kurjan, but I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of people, really hate you unless you overspray. It's not... It's not... I don't know. I'll leave that. So, is it worth your money? That's difficult for me to answer, especially with how expensive this is. But I would encourage you to at least try it. I would. So, if you do want to get in the split, they are both open, obviously. I'll go over the prices again. They are the same for both. Both of these two. 5 milliliters is $27.75. 10 milliliters is $50.50. 15 milliliters is $75.50. And 25 milliliters is $123. Not cheap. Not cheap at all. Definitely the most expensive splits I've done. If you do get into it, I expect these will take some time to fill. So please be patient. If you do want to take a spot, please expect that it might take a little bit for me to get these full, if I even can. No guarantees. But I think they're both good juice. Real good juice. And that if you're a fan of Oud, I really don't think you're going to be disappointed. I don't think you're going to dislike either one of these at all. If you're international, those prices are for US. If you're international, let me know and I'll work out a price. As far as international shipping, I know that a lot of people have been running into problems with that lately. Packages getting disposed of by the Royal Mail over in the UK. Right now, I'm not going to ship to the UK. I apologize to all of you there, but I've seen far too many people over the last couple of weeks saying that they've had their packages literally thrown out and destroyed by the mail service there, that I don't want to risk it. I know the the general policy in the community for international shipments is that it's on the buyer assumes the customs risk, and I go by the same policy. I do keep all my receipts and everything just to cover my bases, and to if I need to track down a package, I have the customs number and all that. So if you are international and you are willing to take the risk of customs problems, I never do as best I can to get that to you safely. Let me know and I'll work out a price for you. Other than that, if you have any questions, please let me know. Be more than happy to help you out as best I can with either of these two. If you're waffling on it at all, if you're not sure whether or not it's for you, be happy to help you out. So, definitely more splits to come. After these, I might even have to open up one or two before these fill, with how long it might take. And I fully expect to have to do some hand wringing if I want to get these filled. But high prices, but definitely high quality juice. So, thank you for watching, bearing with me. I'm just getting over a cold. Sorry, my voice sucks. But talk to you soon.